Ah, yes, gooning. Perhaps one of the greatest inventions in all of human existence. However, I see some people treating it as nothing more than a funny word, when that's just simply not the truth. It's much more than that. Think of it almost as a recreational sport, like golf. I'm currently at TwitchCon San Diego, so I thought while I'm away, I'd leave you all with an entire video about, well, you already clicked on the video, so I'm assuming you already know. Throughout the history of the internet, you've always had the ability to meet different people and connect yourself into communities. On the surface level, there's people who love to cook. Food, by the way, not men. There's also the entire fashion community. There's even people who quit their job to become a full-time producer on a cracked FL studio. Yeah, I'm sure any day now Netspend's gonna ask you for that beat. However, deep, dark, down in the abyss that is the internet, there are some communities. There is a group that simply doesn't fit in with the rest. This group is known as gooners. The more time I spend on the internet as of late, the more things I start to learn, almost none of them being positive. And something I've recently learned about is gooning, as well as the people who tend to partake in such acts, gooners. These strange specimens do nothing but sit in their caves with anime figurines and lotion and do nothing but explore themselves, watch content. Watching this type of content has just become part of these people's day-to-day lives. Dad, you want me to watch Saving Private Ryan with you? Why would I do that? I already have pictures of Ryan's private. These people consume so much of this type of content that they're just desensitized to it. When they see it, there's no longer a zing, no wow factor. Now compare that to somebody who lives on a remote island tribe, or somebody who lives in Pyongyang, North Korea. To them, it's like witnessing the Big Bang Theory. Except to them, it won't be a theory anymore, am I right, fellas? Go home! I'm trying my best here, okay? Now, over the past year, these sticky individuals have been becoming more well-known online for their rather strange nature. You know, I think they're just misunderstood. Now, I know this is about to sound like a myth, but would you believe me if I told you that goon wasn't always viewed as such a weird word? Yes, there was a time where it meant nothing more than a hooligan, a delinquent. However, similar to what happens with everything on the internet, it got transformed into a new degenerate meaning. In fact, while doing my research, I looked deep into the artifacts of the past and found this old definition. A goon can be described as a clumsy oaf. Hey, you know what? That's actually pretty cute. I wonder what it means now. To masturbate profusely, usually the act of very addicted or chronic masturbation. Now, I think what separates your typical human to a gooner is quite a lot. For example, the overall mentality of a gooner is on a completely different level than, let's say, Charles Darwin or Albert Einstein. You think it's just something casual? No! In fact, that's an insult to these dedicated individuals. To them, it's a sense of life, a reason to live, which is exactly why there are communities of people who share different ways to enhance their experience, such as setting up Skype calls or Discord servers to enjoy it together with one another so that no brother is ever alone. I can't even imagine joining a community for the sole reason to do this with other people. Like, genuinely, what do you even do after participating in this? I highly doubt that after everything's said and done, they just sit there like nothing happened, playing games or something. Boy, that was good. Anybody down for some League of Legends? As I continued my search to try and understand the wondrous lifestyle that these people live, I came across this post that gave me a whole new perspective. Emergency gooning kit I made, just in case I need to immediately, anywhere I am. Laptop and charger, pictures of goons, tons of lube, flashlight, earphones, and 6 terabytes worth of my private material. Yo, are we fucking serious? This guy actually dedicated a part of his day to download all of the content, then pack all of his materials into this backpack, and then post it online. A laptop specifically for this, and 6 terabytes worth of content. A 6 terabyte hard drive is like $100 from Best Buy. Imagine you're on a camping trip with this guy and you somehow get injured. Instead of pulling out a first aid kit, he pulls out a fucking goon kit. Just do me like Old Yeller at that point, please. Now, I think one of the reasons that this type of behavior has become so popular in recent times is due to the amount of sexual content that you find on social media now and how easily accessible it's become. I know that I've mentioned this in past videos, but the best example that I can really give is how much of this content you see on Twitter and oh, I'm sorry, X. You know what? At this point, just call it XXX, honestly. When you open up the platform, it's almost inevitable that you're going to see some sort of adult content, whether you want to or not. Okay, for example, I'm going to the Summer Smash Music Festival this year, so when I search up Summer Smash on Twitter, tell me why one of the first results is some dude with his out. Like, I cannot possibly comprehend how the Twitter app sees me type music festival and goes, ah, so this guy must be looking for some It's not even necessarily just Twitter or X, but it's other platforms too, like TikTok or Instagram Reels. There have been so many times where I search up something on TikTok and am immediately shown something that I did not want to see. Too many times have I seen videos of people in lingerie and the videos labeled as educational. Who the is being educated by these videos? People who think they're slick by claiming they're visual learners? Buddy, that's the oldest trick in the book. Not even this platform is safe. I'm sure 99% of you have seen those YouTube comments that say something super generic like, Tokemon never fails to make me laugh. But then you look at the profile picture and notice that it's just straight up corn on the cob. You see what I'm trying to do here? Like, nobody is safe from the great goon invasion of the internet. It's almost everywhere. Now, with this type of content being everywhere and people constantly being exposed to it, don't you think that, I don't know, maybe it can start to have a bit of a negative effect on people's brains and the way that they act in the real world? Also, to anybody who doesn't believe in that, there have been countless studies of this being the case, so please, shut up. One of the most notable events revolving this topic is an incident often referred to online as the goonicide. Earlier this year, a video of a man approaching a Bikini Beans coffee shop went viral, where in the footage, the man is seen to be wearing no undergarments. Almost immediately after the video was posted on social media, it went viral, and it was later confirmed that the man featured in the video ended up committing. He left a note apologizing to both his wife and his children, asking for forgiveness. What the fuck? After certain people on TikTok caught wind of this event, there was something organized at the restaurant where the original incident took place, and it was called the Gooner. Oh my god. When I saw the original video posted on Twitter, I remember going to the comments and of course seeing girls promote their OF, because why the fuck wouldn't they in every possible chance they get? With a tool as vast as the internet, you're able to do pretty much anything with it. Maybe you just want to talk to friends or enjoy some gaming. However, you can also try your chances and become influencers, typically described as internet personalities who have a large online presence through engaging content. Although not so different from your traditional celebrity, their frequent posts on social media can sometimes be met with criticism. However, deep within the hidden depths of the internet, there lurks a more sticky organization, gooners, a group of individuals on the internet who have a strange infatuation with adult content, oftentimes consuming so much that they develop an addiction. On the surface level, these two definitions are completely separate things, two groups of people who have absolutely no relation with one another. I mean, what does this have to do with this? They're obviously two very different means of life. And whilst these two specimens are very different, would you believe me if I were to tell you that there are people out there who are both? It's not uncommon that people will utilize whatever clout they have and try to use it as a means to promote their adult content. Y'all remember Bad Baby? Since 2021, she's made $75 million with her OF account. That is generational wealth. She made her account shortly after her 18th birthday, and within the first 6 hours, she made $1 million. If I had the opportunity to make $1 million in 6 hours, I'm gonna be spreaded more than mayonnaise. Waiting to turn 18 in order to create an account for one of these platforms isn't an isolated incident to just Bad Baby. Lil Tay decided to create her own OF account. Let me repeat that. Lil Tay, like the girl who would post herself flexing expensive cars and houses, often referred to as the youngest flexer of the century. Yeah. That Lil Tay. She went on to break the record of the most money made on the platform within 3 hours. Within this short time, she made $1 million, breaking the previous record held by Bad Baby. $1 million in the span of 180 minutes. What the fuck? Now, on her Twitter, she ended up posting an image that displayed the entirety of her earnings during that time. And it shows that in subscriptions alone, she made over $500,000. My bad, I had to burp. I know it seems like I'm the biggest pocket watcher of the century, but I wanted to know just how many down bad dudes there were, which is actually why I took the time to calculate and look into how many people actually subscribed to her within the first hour alone. I had to do some rather hard calculations, considering her subscription is over $19.99 and the amount of money she made was, let's just say for the sake of convenience, $500,000. All we have to do is calculate the square root, find what x equals, a, b, c. Oh my word, I can't believe it. After my long, extensive research, it would seem that at the very least, over 25,000 people signed up to her account within the first 60 minutes. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we gotta lock these people up as soon as we possibly can. I'd go as far as to say check these people's hard drives, cause what the I'm sorry, maybe I'm in the wrong somehow, but you can't convince me that these people who legitimately wait for people to become of age are not like the most morally wrong individuals on earth. I don't know, dude, it just seems super weird to me that there are legitimately people out there who are triple her age and waiting on the edge of their seats. I mean, me just being so close to the subscribe button felt like I was standing face to face with the Grim Reaper. I don't want to accidentally interact with it, but apparently 25,000 people don't feel the same way. How do you, as a grown adult, not see this and immediately just feel weird about it or disgusted with yourself? Some of the Twitter accounts replying under her post make me wish that I had Pine Sol in my eyes. I love you. You're the key to my heart. You're way better than my old hag of a wife. You're so angelic, so beautiful and sexy. I'm one of the first people who subscribed to your OF. Bro, you are 35 years old. Don't you got work in the morning? What are you doing? However, within this entire topic of Gooner influencers, there are two people in specific who take the crown of being the most popular. Two names that send a shiver down most people's spines. If you got a shiver anywhere else, I don't want to know. Out of all OF models, a few names may be recognizable. You, of course, have the Bop House. Man, I sure wish somebody made a video about that. You have the infamous, the legendary Belle Delphine. I think a good place to start would be to talk about Lily Phillips. For those of you who may not know, you know, I don't even think I need to explain. She's an OF model. I've seen a few videos of Lily Phillips here and there on social media, but I never actually dove into the rabbit hole myself. I mean, I know there's a couple videos of her walking around in public with Cinnabon frosting. You know what I'm trying to say? She went viral in 2024 as the woman who set up her own challenge where she had with over 100 men in 24 hours. Now listen, I'm not going to be going after her too much for wanting to do that because at the end of the day, she is an adult entertainer. But you know who I am going to talk to directly? I'd like to have a word with the entities, the beasts of the dudes who actually sign up for this. How in the hell, as a dude, do you actually want to sign up for something like this and not at all just feel a little bit icky about yourself? Personally, if you catch me doing that, y'all gotta check me into a mental asylum because I'm definitely trying to catch some sort of fatal disease. When these guys are being recruited for this monumental challenge, if you want to call it that, a lot of the guys are wearing face masks because who wants to be known as the dude who participated in this? There's an interview on YouTube where she's asked about the entire situation and she was asked about how she felt completing it. Her response is she starts crying and talking about how much of an emotional toll it took on her. She also goes on to say that after a certain amount of time, she started to disassociate with everything that was going on, which I mean, that's obviously not a good thing. I don't mean to be some sort of Reddit armchair psychologist, but for the most part, when your body is going through something really uncomfortable, your brain starts to disassociate from reality and almost as a means to protect you from future trauma. 100 people in 24 hours is by no means something that the ordinary human being can possibly handle. Which is why I can take 500. I'm not ordinary. But would you believe me if I were to tell you, though, that there's somebody who puts Lily Phillips to shame? One person who has more fame and notoriety and even more clout. I'm, of course, talking about Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue has been gaining so much attention recently for her stunts on OnlyFans, and absolutely none of them are things to be proud of. For starters, she broke the record earlier this year for having sex with over 1,000 men all in the span of 24 hours, and is now wearing this achievement like a medal of honor. It's ridiculous that people are actually praising her for this. It's not even that many. I bet I could take 2,000. Now, if you thought the actions of Lily Phillips were a little bit out there, you haven't heard anything yet. For starters, remember that previous record that Lily Phillips held? You know, 100 people? Well, Bonnie Blue wiped it easily off of the scoreboard and did 10 times that. 1,000 people in 24 hours. Very similarly to Lily Phillips, almost none of the men in this video wanted to have their identity exposed, which, yeah, like, who would? dead. Even without people knowing, I don't even think my conscience could handle well knowing that I participated in something like that. An additional thing that makes this entire thing worse is some of the guys are already in pre-existing relationships. After participating in something like this, honestly, I think it should be mandatory to let anybody in future know about this. You cannot convince me that she isn't a lab experiment sent to work as a study on the depravity of certain men. It seems that Bonnie Blue's entire world revolves around wiener. And listen, I'm by no means saying there is absolutely anything wrong with that. In fact, I kind of relate. I love wiener. But the way that she does it, it just seems so wrong. For example, one of her first stunts was that she went to a university in Nottingham. Nottingham. And she continued to advertise herself with a sign that read, "Bonk me for free. Let me film it." On top of that, she's also gone on the record implying that she's into this entire Everybody, it's currently 1:40 in the morning, and I just finished editing the video. I was about to go to bed, but I was scrolling TikTok on my free time, you know, as apparently everybody my age does. Anyways, I just got a TikTok of Lily Phillips that said, she completed a challenge with 1,000 guys. Now, if that doesn't, you know, send a little bit of confusion through your mind, I don't know what does, because last I checked, I thought Bonnie Blue was the one who did that challenge. But no, apparently Lily Phillips has now beat Bonnie Blue's record with 1,000 guys. I'm not really sure if this is their own version of the Olympics, you know, competing with one another. The whole Olympics, but I just thought I'd update you. Content houses are something that have been around within both YouTube and TikTok for quite a while. For as long as I've been on YouTube, I always remember creators mentioning that they were going to be moving in with each other. When it was good, it seemed to be good, but when it was bad, it was really bad. If you're to think back many moons ago, you may recall the nightmare that was the original Team 10 house with Jake Paul. Together, Jake Paul and his minions managed to ruin the lives of anybody living within a 25-mile radius of him by simply being obnoxious and annoying, all in the name of content. When that eventually all fell apart, TikTok took the lead and gave us the glory that was the Hype House. Ever since then, though, it seems that TikTok houses are almost a dying breed, simply a product of its past. However, a new challenger has risen through the ashes, a new being crafted by the heavens of gooning. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, I present to you the Bop House. Now, putting on your investigative outfit and taking a first glance at the Bop House, you may notice how different it is compared to any other content house we've seen before. Instead of containing gamers or vloggers or really any type of content creator that is safe for this platform, the Bop House consists of OF models. Now, in case you've been living under a rock for the past few years, an OF model is somebody who sells very specific photographs of themselves on the internet. Now, before we look into the Bop House and some of its members, I feel that we need a proper introduction to what type of life-changing and mind-bending content we're going to be putting ourselves through here today. The TikTok seems to have copyrighted music, so I'm going to be doing my own little iteration. Whoa, let's take a moment here and look at this. Look at that house, dude. Now, because I don't really have anything better to do with my time, I decided to do my own mini investigation work and actually find the precise address of the Bop House. It actually wasn't that hard. It's public information. It was from there that I learned that this exact house monthly cost $75,000 a month. Now, if we do some quick little math work here, 2 to the power of 12, that's $2,500 a day. That's what a lot of people make in a month, and these dudes are able to just blow it on a house. Like, yo, if all I gotta do to start living here is spread my bunghole live on the internet for millions to see, bro, so be it. Shit, I'd pay a crazy amount of money just to live in the walk-in closet of this house. Dude, to be able to afford a $75,000 a month home, you definitely have to be doing some hard work. What is it? Running a company? Going to space? Running a country? Like, what could it possibly be? Hold on, you're telling me there are people slaving away at customer service jobs, running McDonald's, people building houses and servicing our roads in below zero weather, people going to war, and you're telling me that this makes more money? Now, I know a lot of you may be thinking that I'm just jealous, and Of course I am. Are you not? Just to be clear, I don't have a problem with people making this type of content. I'm hating because I wish it was me making that type of money. You have no idea how much I wish I could just do a couple TikTok dances a day, post it, and make hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars at a time. For example, take a look at Sophie Rain. Sophie Rain is one of the girls in the Bop House who gained quite a following after her TikTok and Instagram ended up getting traction. Sophie Rain started gaining popularity on Twitter for a reason that I don't really know why. Like, why could she possibly be getting... skyrocketing her OF into the stratosphere. Obviously, she did have quite a bit of attention before. This is where I found out about her. And then she revealed her yearly earnings. In the year 2024, Sophie Rain earned an astonishing $43 million. That is more than what most families can make within their entire lifetime. And this is only on one platform. Imagine all the other ones too. I don't think you need to be a rocket scientist by any means to understand that is unfathomable. That is an insane amount of money in 1 year. There is also another member of the Bop House who's really popular, and a lot of you may know who she is. Her name is Camilla. I'm fairly confident that you guys know who Camilla is. You have to have seen her TikToks before, or if you're not on TikTok, you may recognize her as player 067 from Mr. Beast. Camilla participated in Mr. Beast's Squid Game video, and almost immediately after people started to notice her, she made an OF. That is the definition of striking while the iron's hot. She saw an opportunity and without a doubt immediately went for it. And hey, I mean, it seems to be working out okay considering she's blossomed an entire career from it. But the way that she promotes it and gets her name out there is pretty up. This girl Camilla has a podcast where she just yaps about absolutely nothing and pretty much just promotes her OF for an hour. She does like these weird podcast interviews with her brother where they discuss the fact that she is indeed an OF model, which is pretty weird to be discussing with your family, let alone your younger brother. There's a bunch of other people in the Bop House. I have no idea who they are, nor do I really care. Also, I'm too lazy to edit them in. So let's go back to actually looking at the Bop House again. Now, once the Bop House was announced officially, it blew up really fast. The account was made around a month ago at the time of recording, and in that short amount of time, they have somehow managed to find 1.5 million gooners that are willing to follow this page. In fact, the account is so popular and well known in this short amount of time that they've been announcing that they are looking to recruit more people to join. And believe it or not, it has become a TikTok trend where thousands of people are actually auditioning to join the elitist club that is the Bop House. Now, I think it goes without saying that there are a ton of submissions that are simply made as jokes, like this one grandma who's been posting on TikTok every day trying to get in. But there are also thousands of people who are actually posting videos as legitimate auditions in hopes that they're noticed and are able to get in. Bold statement incoming here, but I'm not really sure that these OF girls are the best role models for young people on the internet. Like, believe it or not, there is definitely at least one person out there who's looking up to Sophie Rain thinking that they want to be just like her in the future. I don't think our grandparents came to whatever continent 100-something years ago for people to be looking up to Sophie Rain. Now, when I went on TikTok and looked at the official Bop House account, I noticed that there were quite a bit of comments where people are asking for somebody named Piper Raquel to be added. I'd heard the name before, but I never really knew who she was, so I looked her up on TikTok, and she's basically just another TikToker who does dances. Now, why is this concerning? Because she's 17. And if that isn't bad enough, she deadass made her own audition. Yeah, bro, TikTok is actually so cooked. Society is maybe things like this are the final straw in the reason that TikTok is finally getting banned in the United States. Again, I feel like I need to mention that if this is the type of content that certain people want to make, they can go ahead and do so. Absolutely nobody is stopping them. It's a free country. Do whatever you want. I do also understand why so many people are pissed off, because imagine going to school for years, struggling with student debt, working your ass off, having multiple sleepless nights, all to know that some people people out there are making 10 times your lively income in a simple year by simply doing TikTok dances and taking pictures. The Bop House is a content house that is a rather different specimen from all the other content houses that we've seen in the past. See, while most consist of YouTubers or TikTokers who all move in together, the Bop House instead has only OF models. I almost slipped up. Now, the type of content that the Bop House likes to output is truly some of the most life-changing and innovative content I think I've ever seen on the internet.
Is that a lollipop?
Truly some generational stuff right there. So together, let's take a look once again at the Bop House. So when I first covered this entire situation and content house about a couple months ago, I thought it would be a one and done situation. I thought I would talk about it once and never talk about it again. But the Bop House continues to grow at an astounding level. They're still consistently pumping out TikToks to where enough of these degenerate gooners actually watch it, and apparently watch their content so much that they thought it would be a good idea to hit the follow button. They currently have over 3 million followers on TikTok. The last time that I talked about the Bop House, I not only talked about the actual content aspect of things, I looked at the two most popular members, number 1 being Sophie Rain, and number 2 being Camila Araujo. Now, Sophie Rain, respectfully, hasn't been doing anything too interesting outside of the Bop House. She just posts, like, normal TikToks. I feel like it wouldn't make that interesting of a video to talk about this. And honestly, the same thing really goes for Camila. She continues really just to post on her TikTok about, you know, her at the Super Bowl, sometimes the Bop House, which, I mean, cool, I guess. But she also does these little podcast clips where she has some of the most boring and mundane conversations I've ever heard in my life. In these clips, she almost always talks about something weirdly sexual without making it explicit outright, all the while sitting in a very specific position. But listen, Camila, let's just be so for real. I know exactly what you're doing here. I'm not an idiot. At a certain point, though, I can only hate for so long. I mean, bro, it's just that hustler's mindset. I gotta respect it. Now, terrible, boring, awful content aside, there have been some major outbreaks in the Bop House. Whoa! I hope you're just as excited as I am right now. Over this past week, I have done an insane amount of research. I've spent hours watching TikToks, boring podcasts, and even news articles to figure out exactly what has been going on. Getting started, they have completely relocated to an entirely new property because, surprise, surprise, the house that they were originally filming the first TikToks in, it never actually belonged to any of the original members. It was just an Airbnb rental that you can find on Google really easily. Or, if you really want to, you yourself can rent it for the steep price of $75,000 a month. If I am spending $75,000 a month, I better be getting a happy ending every single day. Honestly, no, that's not even good enough. I better have my own butler who wipes my ass every time I use the bathroom. That is a disgustingly expensive price tag for a house. Assuming because it's a rental, the members couldn't keep the house for the entirety of the year, and honestly, I don't blame them because that's really expensive. So they ended up moving to a completely new house. Why is this relevant, you may ask? Well, because they didn't even get to stay in this house for too long because it was broken into. So I sat through the entire 25-minute podcast where they explain exactly what went down, and it's a pretty messed up situation, honestly. So they start off by saying one of the reasons that they left the original house was because of the countless people that would pull up and just bother them. And eventually it got so bad to the point where they needed to hire security, but then just decided to leave the house because it was publicly available information. But then not even a month after moving in, it was broken into by this guy. On the little podcast thing that they do, Sophie Rain says that apparently this guy had been DMing her for months before actually breaking in, messaging her all types of weird things, almost as if he had been planning breaking in this entire time. This guy seems to be be one of the most degenerates of degenerate ever on the internet. He drove all the way from Texas to Florida to break into the Bop House, and once he was taken into custody, he told the police that his name was Connor Rain, insinuating that he was married to Sophie Rain. Genuinely, I have a headache trying to figure out how stupid this guy can possibly be to think that this is going to work. It's almost like he thinks it's some old Disney movie where if he follows the girl he likes around enough, maybe she'll fall in love with him. Yeah, I really hate to be the bad guy, buddy, but you might want to hold on to your seat when I tell you this. That's fucking illegal and creepy. That is not how the real world works. Thankfully, though, he was arrested, and apparently there was like an entire SWAT team at the Bop House to arrest this guy. He is currently being held on a $51,000 bond in jail. And if he's going to be released at all, he's getting a GPS ankle monitor. Something else that's just completely weird about this dude is that he showed up to the previous Bop House unannounced. So yeah, this dude is just a completely weird, deranged idiot. I don't really know how to transition over to the next thing, so I guess move to the next thing. Now, there is a very specific reason for why I wanted to talk about the Bop House again, and that is because at the end of my last Bop House video, I do mention the fact that it was becoming a trend specifically on TikTok for people to do an audition to join the Bop House. There were some goofy ones like someone's grandma auditioning to join, but then there was a TikToker named Piper Raquel. Something that's very important to keep in mind is that currently Piper is 17 years old. And a couple months ago, she posted on her TikTok, "This is my audition. If you know, you know," all the while using the soundbite that was popular with the audition trend. Now, I don't think that it takes a rocket scientist to put two and two together that this isn't okay. Now, after something like this happens, you'd think that the best possible thing the Bop House could have done is just not involve themselves with her. Well, imagine my surprise when they make a TikTok with Piper Raquel inviting her to their house. Now, I didn't watch all the videos that she was in because I would feel like I need to scrub my search history right after, but from the few videos I saw, it was all just innocent TikTok dances. But is that still not fucking weird? This is just me personally, but I don't really think that it's a good look when you are in a very specific adult targeted industry and you are making content. Even though it's not inappropriate, you're still making content with somebody who is still 17 years old. This entire situation caused a member by the name of Joy May to leave the Bop House and form her own version called the Asian House. The reason she left is exactly for the reasons I just said, because she also found it weird that they're making this type of content with someone who's young. Thankfully, though, there is no reason to fear because these members are easily replaceable, and Joy has been replaced with James Charles. Let's go get that guy over there. Hey, you!
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yes, of course I'm talking to you.
Oh, hello there.
Are you tired of shitty energy drinks that are probably horrible for your health?
Yeah, they give me kidney stones. It really hurts.
That's really gross. But allow me to introduce you to Gamer Subs. It is a cheaper and a healthier alternative to energy drinks and soda, so that means no more kidney stones. How can that be possible, though? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's because it's 0 sugar, 0 carbs, less than 1 calorie, which then means that it's keto-friendly and diabetic safe. Well, you already got me hooked. Oh, you will be once you try it. Now shut up and let me finish. Let's say you're somebody like me who doesn't like to be caffeinated 100% of the time. Lucky for you, they also have a caffeine-free line just for you to enjoy the flavor. And they got some really good ones. My favorite currently being Lean. Not only because it tastes fantastic, but also because it makes me feel like a SoundCloud rapper. If you use my link, you get 10% off your order. Come on! If you want to try it out, click the link in the description to get 10% off. Thank you to our good friends over at Gamer Subs. We love you. And now, back to the video. I'm not really sure how long I can keep judging the content of the Bop House for, though. I mean, I haven't checked in on it in about 2 months, so let's sit down together and let's actually watch what type of content they're outputting.
I'm snowmobiling. What are you doing? I'm riding a horse. What are you doing? I'm doing a TikTok dance. What are you doing?
Okay. I want you to sit there and look at me directly in the eye. How the hell is this considered a TikTok dance? What, moving your arm back and forth repeatedly? That is not a dance. They do got some other dance moves, so let's take another look.
Alright, I'm hula hooping. What are you doing? I'm riding it. What are you doing? I'm surfing. What are you doing?
Bro, what the This is in no way surfing. You're just moving around in a circle. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Follow my Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye. Once you gonna make this really easy. Once you all up on a TV. The juice on my feet, but you still rocking Yeezys. If it's a problem, you should run up when you see me. I feel that before I end the video, I should make it clear real quick that I don't think it's a problem that some people are doing this type of content. If that's what you want to do, then, you know, go ahead. So, gooning, what is it? Now, upon a search on the world's most reliable urban dictionary, I was stunned at how every single one of these definitions I cannot read, or it will pose a giant risk to this video. And I mean, some of these are really detailed. Like, look at this. Dude wrote an entire paragraph. So, this is the best one I can find, and it is still going to be heavily censored. I want you to fill in the blanks with your mind. Gooning is described as the act of a very addicted or chronic getting so into or that the dude becomes a total becomes stupid on his own, can think of nothing else but. The more I read that, the more brain cells I could physically feel disintegrating into nothingness. Do you see what I mean when I tell you that I can barely even speak about this? Now, in order to dumb it down a little bit, I'm going to give a bit of an example. Let me put my glasses on. This is Bernard.
Hello?
Bernard is what we in the human realm would describe as a gooner.
You certainly got that right.
Bernard here loves going on the internet. He has many different websites that he loves. Most of them have the letter X in it.
Keep going.
Bernard here loves to spend hours at a time locking himself in his bedroom, consuming... Do you get what I'm trying to say? Well, that was traumatic. Gooning is one of those words that have been given a newfound meaning on the internet. Now, believe it or not, goon was once a word that people would use to describe their friend group, for an example. Nowadays, you cannot say to somebody, yeah, I'm just hanging out with the goon squad. Yeah, bro, that you are instantly getting blocked. Now that we've learned, I think it would be a good time to look into the legends, the myths, the gooners themselves. So they are entities which I don't think anybody wants to encounter in real life. There are many reasons as to why you probably don't. One of them being that they smell. Now everybody quiet down and take a moment. I just want you to close your eyes and picture the smelliest, mustiest, grimiest individual that you can possibly fathom in your mind. Whatever image just popped in your little noggin, bro, just scratch that off the list, because I can guarantee that these people are 10 times worse than that. Gooners are rarely seen in public. You would have a better chance finding a million, billion, trillion dollars just sitting on the sidewalk than seeing one of these individuals just casually going on a walk. Better yet, you would have a better chance eating a pound of asparagus and not having to plug your nose on your next trip to the bathroom. But if you do ever find yourself coming across one of these cryptids in public, you will know by their smell. They smell like, have you ever been in your grandparents' mildew-ridden haunted basement? That's the easiest I can get to describe to one of them. Now, these people will typically stay in a room in their house, or their parents' house rather, and they will call this place the Goon Cave. Bro, I know for a fact that these people definitely think they have some sort of Playboy Cardi aura by calling it something so mysterious. Bedroom? Oh, mother, it's the Goon Cave, so please refer to it as such. Like, I just got something itching in my gut telling me that they think they are Batman. Bro, it's not mysterious, it's not cool, it needs a cleanup. Now, after doing some research and looking into these peculiar people, and reading some urban legend type paragraphs about how bad their little goon caves are, and I got curious, so I decided to search them up and... like this. What What even is this disgusting lair? I don't even think this is a basement in a house. I'm pretty sure this is a back room in a New York subway station. I mean, look, it literally has "Get Out" spray painted on the wall. I really don't even want to know what other type of things go on here. This is from Birdie's video, but I've seen it online too, and I just feel like I need to throw it in. This Reddit post. This is one of the most prepared people I've ever seen in my life.
Emergency kit I made just in case I need to immediately anywhere I am. Laptop, charger, pictures of tons of earphones, and 6 terabytes worth of my favorite.
Get as far away from me as possible. I think the fact that disturbs me most about it is that without even knowing it, you may have already encountered somebody like this. It could have just been the normal Joe Schmo that you sat beside on the subway.
Or even worse, that post could have been from me, and you would never know.
It wasn't. Now, I think it's a good time to cover the other pursuits of said people. Giving away money. That's something they love to do. These people love to give money to streamers and content creators for the reason that I think deep down, these people hope that these female streamers will want them in the future. And I'm just here to tell you that's not going to happen in a million years. Female streamers, specifically on Twitch, get a lot of money from these people. There was an entire niche called hot tub streams, where these streamers would sit in a hot tub and just talk about nothing, just yap with chat, and they would get hundreds of thousands of dollars pouring in straight into their bank accounts. And where is it coming from? These individuals who sit down in their basement do nothing. Where are they getting this money from? I have no idea, because I'm 95% sure they don't have a job, but whatever income they get is just getting thrown to these streamers. I'm going to come out and say something that might be a little controversial. I don't have a problem with these streamers. If that's the thing that they want to do, they should have the freedom to do it. I mean, it doesn't affect me in any ways, but this is something that was going crazy on Twitch. And this all started around 3 years ago during the lockdown, because some people, or rather everybody, had literally nothing to do. So they would just be blowing their money on nothing. I think the mindsets that these degenerates have is horrible, because sometimes they do actually get angry when the streamer doesn't want to interact with them directly. They will donate 10 grand, and when the streamer then reveals that she doesn't want a relationship with the person donating, they will throw a fit and feel as if they are entitled to that, which is just completely wrong. I mean, it was your choice to give away all that money, and they end up throwing fits online complaining about said streamer, saying that it was all fraudulent and that said streamer is a liar. But I mean, dude, I have no idea what kind of fantasy you were building up in your mind.
Yeah, maybe if I give her enough money, she'll love me back.
Like, bro, Bernard, get back into reality, my friend. That's not how the real world works. You can also find these people on other websites. It isn't just Twitch. A very popular one is OF, which, if you don't know what OF is, are you Patrick Star living under a rock? I mean, come on. But these people will pay for a subscription to... yeah. And some of these people will tip an insane amount of money. I mean, bro, they gotta be rich, because there's no way that they are just throwing away thousands of dollars just like change they found in their back pocket.
Now, what exactly have we learned in this entire video? People are weird, I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow my Twitter, my Twitch, and my Instagram down below, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.
I won't end up like the rest. I got stripes on my chest like the rest. Jump out, yeah. I got stripes on my chest like the rest, like the rest. Tired this, brand new that, brand new Mac, brand new tech.